I am clearly interested in women in crisis at this juncture, so that's kind of the theme of these books. So this is unfortunately the most common state that our apartment is in of late. I don't know if you can hear like the banging out the window, but there's road construction, which has nothing to do with our interior lives or why the apartment is a mess. I just want you to know it contributes to the chaos. I understand that our apartment is not so messy. I would say we're pretty good at keeping like a baseline level clean, but it's definitely more unkempt than I would prefer. And we keep straightening, cleaning, and then it just gets kind of back to this state. I think it's very representative of our headspace right now because we are, I think, like a month and a half out from our wedding, and the planning is becoming very demanding. So where we're at, I'm not gonna do anything about it. I just want everyone to know the truth. So my job is like 80% remote. It's a little more than that. Basically, I work completely from home. I don't have an office to go into 4 days a week. 1 day a week, I will be like kind of out running errands for the first 4 to 6 hours of the day, and then have some remote work at home. I live in New York City. It's cool. I like the remote work thing. I haven't known much else. This has been my job now for 3 years, or about to be 3 years, and before that it was a pandemic, and before that I was in grad school. My gig when I was in grad school was working for the grad school. That was in person. So I've had internships, so I know a little bit, but in terms of like actual kind of careered professional, this is really all I've known. So this is gonna be the unvarnished truth of my work from home life. A day specifically in my work from home life, except for the fact that I didn't start recording this until I think it's like 12:30. So you do not get to see my morning routine. You're not missing much. In fact, I've talked about it in other videos. I can link that here. That's it. I'm just working. So later in the vlog, I'm going to talk about some books I'm reading because I've picked up some good reads of late and I want to share. So stay tuned for that. And my really thrilling work from home day. Portrayal of a work from home day for me is definitely getting ready in like the middle of the day. I know people say that like it's good to like get ready at the start of your day just to like feel like a real human. Maybe that's true. I just don't know. I don't know if I buy it enough to try it. I kind of like being a little loungy until the middle of the day. I probably should try to get out of the house. That's something I try to do and often fail to do in the morning, but it's fine. I'll get out sometime during my lunch break, which I am rapidly approaching. I usually don't do my makeup like this. I'm only doing this for filming, because I'm like filming the rest of my like Chicago vlog today, so yeah. I found that I have little to no patience for cooking food, despite working from home a vast majority of the time where I have a kitchen accessible. So a lot of the times I'm just like kind of snacking, but it's like very much a habit for me to just grab something that I can just grab and not have to put together, despite my best efforts. Today I'm having leftovers, so that's kind of that. Yeah. Hey, I just got done recording for my other video, which is a video about our trip to Chicago. If you haven't, I don't know if it's gonna be up before this or after this video. I also wanted to talk to you guys about books because I've read a lot of really good books lately and I haven't really had the opportunity to plug it into my content, so I'm just gonna shoehorn it in here. The first is a book called Old Flame. I read this, I don't know, like a month ago. It was so good. I do this sometimes where I will pick up a book in a bookstore because it looks interesting and I will read just like, I'll just flip to a random chapter, usually the beginning of a chapter, and just read it. And if it catches my attention, it catches my attention and I'll just buy it. Part of what I look for is like interesting writing because I am interested in writing. I have done some writing and I just appreciate kind of like artistic and thoughtful writing. So if I like read it and it's in like a literary section already and I can tell that like the kind of verbiage of the author is pretty interesting, I'll just buy it. And I sometimes won't read the back because I don't know, I don't want to be like, I don't want it to be spoiled. Anyway, this was one of those books. So I would say that there was a twist because it was a twist for me, but it won't be a twist for you if you read the back. Just in case any of you also want the mystery that I had before I picked this book up, I'll just kind of tell you that like the book really focuses on kind of womanhood, especially womanhood in kind of quarter life, because that's the protagonist, like that's what she's going through. And it is just kind of a deep dive, and it's not just about her, like there are a lot of other women in her life. It is very women focused and women of different ages. So not only is it kind of exploring the experiences of like quarter life for women, it's also exploring experiences outside of quarter life, or like experiences of like she talks about like motherhood is a big theme of the book. She's like adopted and she's got like an interesting relationship with her adoptive mother, etc., etc. So that's all I'm gonna say. If you're still not convinced, like you can just read the back. I just don't want to spoil it for anyone. It was so good. In particular, this book had a lot of kind of one-liners that would just kind of strike me. Like she just really kind of captures the essence of an experience just really succinctly and really beautifully. So I marked a few pages. So like one line is like, to want the whole thing of someone but be unable to have it, this is the pain of love. I thought that was really beautiful and just like well said. Another line that I thought was really beautiful was, but I must too tell you a story about men, how their sturdiness can feel like truth, how it sometimes is, how they can possess a certain kindness, different from a woman's, that is not attached to anything other than itself. I just feel like she had lots of kind of excellent analyses or just like encapsulations of kind of the human experience that were just kind of touching to read, and the story itself is also really touching. Like I cried at the end, just a little bit. Yeah, so I strongly recommend this one. It was really nice, especially if you're like a woman who's like in her 20s or her late 20s or 30s. Like I think it's very much targeted at that demo. Okay, and the other one on my list was The Rachel Incident. This was a rec by Sally Dar, whose YouTube channel I love. She's kind of like a bookie YouTuber. She does a lot of vlogs, which are a lot of fun. So that can be a rec too. Really like her. But this book was really interesting. This one was like action-packed. I found when I picked it up, it was really hard to put down, which is something, but I just didn't always want to pick it up. And this is kind of a me thing. Like it was a little melancholic at times, and like I can shy away from kind of melancholic or like heavy reading or like entertainment materials. That's just the thing about me. So if you like that stuff, you'll probably really like this. I know people likened this a lot to Sally Rooney's work, and like I'm not a big Sally Rooney fan because of the kind of melancholia aspect of it. Yeah, like I said, it was a little sad in the middle, but I really liked how it ended. This one is more succinctly about kind of someone trying to figure out their life and their like 20s in general. And then later on, it does kind of span a good timeline. And there's just like a lot of interesting stuff that happens and kind of a lot of interesting circumstances that pose interesting questions about life, morality, ethics, and also just kind of, I don't know, prompts one to think about the unvarnished reality of things. Because I feel like while this might be a little bit dramatic, I think it explores concepts that are true and that do occur. And maybe that's why it's kind of sad. Anyway, I won't say more than that. I will say it doesn't end sadly. So I liked the ending because, again, I don't like melancholic things. So if you like a sad ending, I guess I wouldn't recommend this, even though like this is not an altogether like overly happy ending. So this book is really interesting though. Like I said, it was hard to put down when I picked it up. And then the last one, this is not a rec yet, but I think it will be. And this one's kind of a buzzy book. It's called All Fours by Miranda July. I picked this up at the bookshop like last week because I had finished this book unexpectedly sooner than I thought. It's been really good. I did hear about it before I picked it up, and I just knew it was about like a woman who's kind of experiencing more of like a midlife crisis, and I am clearly interested in women in crisis at this juncture, so that's kind of the theme of these books. I'm like less than halfway through right now, but it's another one that's like hard to put down once you pick it up, and the writing is really fun. Like, I don't know, I guess if you like Gilmore Girls, like the protagonist, she's not exactly like a Lorelai, but the kind of like quickness of her kind of wit and like internal banter, as well as kind of this like tendency to like make inside jokes to herself and herself alone, reminds me of the Lorelai character. So if you kind of like that style of protagonist, then like definitely pick this book up. It's just a witty book. Like it's written really well, which again is something that I like. So if you like really good writing, definitely this pick or this pick. Like the authors write in a way that is more creative and more interesting. Oh, but I will say about this one, there aren't chapters. So if that wears on your patience, there are like sections, but there aren't chapters. So just know that, because I feel like some people really wouldn't like that. I grew impatient with it sometimes, but all in all, would pick it for the writing. Just a cautionary tale. It's my outfit of the day. I'm going to go outside because I haven't been outside yet, which is bad for my health. You guys, I am so tired. I think I've been off a little more than I can chew today. I feel like the vlogging my day was maybe a little bit ambitious. Taking a little break, and then I'm gonna get back to it. I figured out the thing I needed to figure out. It was just like kind of mentally very draining. And then a little bit later, I'm doing, I have like a coaching call with my life coach. It's like a work thing. We like talk about work stuff, like work confidence and work feelings and things. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't talked to her in a couple weeks, so that's usually pretty energizing, which I need. But in the meantime, I'm going to watch a YouTube video because that's what I like to do on my breaks when I work from home. So. My favorite part of working from home is the ability to lay on my bed in the middle of the day, or just like at any point in the day. Because I'm kind of old, I have worked in person in offices before. It's just been for internships or part-time student jobs. But I do recall, especially from the internships, because those were 8-hour days, I recall how tired my like back would be, or like achy my body would be after like a full day where I didn't get it sounds so lazy and lame, but after like a full day of like being either like upright or on my feet or whatever, or like at a desk, just like not being able to lay down, I remember how tired I would be at the end of the day. And I do feel like I save some energy working from home, which I definitely appreciate. Just saying. I gotta get back to work now. So tired.
Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone lengthens down.
All right, pretty people, that's it for my work day. I mean, it's it for my full day. But that's it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. My channel, Think Too Much, is focused on life in your 20s and late 20s. It's just all things quarter life. So if this vlog was of interest to you, or if that is of interest to you. I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.